Top 25 defenses in college football 25? Hey, at least we made the list. What up, YouTube? You know who it is, and we back, and you already know we finna talk about top 25 defenses on college football 25. But before we get in all that, you already know what I need you to do. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, man. It's only a thumb movement, and I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't get there without you. I will be giving away a copy of College Football 25 to one of my lucky subscribers, and it could be you. So go ahead, help your unk out. Now look, man, we gotta talk about these defenses. So let's get into the info. Well. Let's get into another list that I ain't gonna agree with, but some of these teams may be your favorite team. So I'm just gonna go over what I see and the inconsistency of it. And I'm using the same website, PFF. So that's where I got all my information from, just to let you know this is where these numbers coming from. So let's jump right into it. Number 25 is Florida. Overall defense is 77.1. Their run defense, 77.8. Tackle defense, 59.6. The pressures, 73.6. Coverage, 67.7. And they do have 5 defensive starters returning. So I guess that's cool for 25. Number 24, Kansas State, 78.1 overall defense, 68.8 for rushing defense, 52.9 for tackling. Pressures is 65.5. Coverage, 83.4, and they got 6 returners. Number 23, North Carolina, 83.1 overall defense. Run defense is 74.9. Their tackling, 72.6. Pressures, 78.4. Coverage, 86.8. And they also returned 6 starters from their defense. Number 22, Louisville, 89.9 defense. Pretty decent. 82.8 for run defense, 75.2 for tackling, pressures 84.5, and coverage 81.4. And they got 8 returners, so definitely that defense is going to be locked in. Number 21, Oklahoma State, 77.6 overall defense, 66.3 run defense, 66.5 for tackling, 78.3 for pressures, 78.4 for coverage, but they do bring back 10 starters. You can only improve when you bring back 10 people, man. So they should definitely be better than what they were last year. Number 20, Colorado. 67.5 overall defense. Run defense is a 59.8. Tackling 64.3. Pressures 69.3. Coverage 71.4. And they are returning 7 players. I guess 20, so I don't know. Number 19, Texas A&M. This is confusing. Defense 90.5 overall. Run defense, 89.9. Tackling, 65.4. Okay, that's y'all issue. Pressures, 82%. Coverage, 82.8. But they only return 4 starters, so I guess that's where the inconsistency is. Number 18, LSU, 83.7 overall defense. 87.7 with the run defense. 79.7 with the tackling. 71.1 with the pressures. 89.7 with the coverage, and they're returning 6 players. Number 17, Auburn, 90.6 defense, 87.7 run defense, 79.7 tackling defense, 71.1 for pressure, and 89.7 for coverage, and they're returning 6 players. I don't know how they 17, but okay, let's keep going. Number 16, USC, 77 overall defense, 72.6 for run defense, 63.5 for tackles, 80.1 for pressures, and 72.1 for coverage. And they only returning 4 starters. Number 15, Wisconsin, 89.9 overall defense, 84.3 for the run defense, 80.1 for the tackling, 77.2 for pressures, 86.1 for coverage, and they're returning 5 starters on that defense. Number 14, Virginia Tech, 78.8 for overall defense, 64.5 for the rushing defense, 64 for the tackling, 88.4 for the pressures, that's good pressure, and 76.6 for coverage, and they're returning 9 starters. So I can kind of see why they're up there. Number 13, this is crazy, Iowa. Overall defense, 93.7. Overall run defense, 93.7. Tackling, 91.1. Pressures, 75.1. Coverage, 92.7. And they return 9 starters. That makes no sense. Those guys should definitely be in the top 10, because if you haven't seen Iowa play, they play amazing defense. Their offense ain't good, but their defense keeps them in games. So this don't make sense to me personally. I know Iowa fans should be highly upset. Number 12, Oklahoma. 85.4 is their overall defense. 83.5 is their run defense. 72.7 is their tackling. 73.5 is their pressures. 82.6 is their coverage. And they're returning 7 starters to that defense. Number 11, Florida State. This is crazy too a little bit. 91.6 overall defense. 80.7 is their rushing defense. 79.7 is the tackling. 90.1 is the pressures. 91.1 is the coverage. And they're returning 4 starters. I still think number 11 may not be good enough. I feel like they should be at least top 10, especially with who is number 10. At number 10, Utah. Overall, 78.5 on the defense, 74.1 on their run defense, 81.7 on their tackling, 72.2 on their pressure, and 75 overall in coverage. And they're returning 8 starters. This definitely is not a top 10 defense. I don't know who likes Utah that works on that dev team, but they definitely shouldn't be top 10. And I will argue that with anybody. It don't matter. That Florida State sounded way better than them. I'm just saying. Number 9, Penn State. 93.8 overall defense, 91.4 rush defense, 74.5 tackling, 91.1 in pressures, and 90.5 in coverage. And they're returning 7 starters. Now that sounds like a top 10 defense to me. Number 8, Texas. 90.8 overall is the defense, 90.5 is the run defense, 66.4 in tackling. Boy, they miss a lot of tackles. Need them to do that against Michigan. 85.5 with pressures and 80.4 in coverage. But they are returning 8 starters to that defense. Number 7, that great state, Michigan. 95.1 is the overall defense, 92.8 in rushing defense, 92.1 in tackling, 90.6 in pressures, and 92.5 in coverage. But we're only returning 4 starters. So maybe that's the reason. But if you know Michigan defense, we just didn't have 11 people starting. We literally had like 20 people playing, rotating in and out. But I'll let them have it. Number 6, Notre Dame. 93.5 for their defensive overall, 91.4 for their rushing, 72.9, again, I'll say that, 72.9 for their tackling, 86.1 for their pressures, and 92.5 for their coverage. And they're returning 5 starters. I think we're better. I understand Notre Dame got a good defense, but I still think we're better than Notre Dame. I'm just going to say that. And this one here, number 5, Clemson. 93.9 overall defense, 93.1 in the run defense, 76 in the tackling, 79.9 in pressures, 92.3 in coverage, and they're only returning 3 starters. No way they should be a top 5 defense. Michigan's way better than that. That's honest. Like, that's ridiculous. Number 4, Alabama. 93.9 for the overall defense, 91.8 for the rushing defense, 90.1 for tackling, 87.6 for pressures, 93 for coverage. And they're returning 5 starters, and they did lose Caleb Downs to Ohio, so that definitely boosted Ohio. Number 3, Oregon. 90.7 overall defense, 84.5 for the rushing, 90.5 for tackling, 76.5, which is not high at all, but 76.5 for pressures, 90.3 for coverage, and they're only bringing back 4 players. Number 2, Georgia. 91.7 overall, 86.5 with the rush defense, 92.2 with the tackling, 76.2, again, 76.2 with the pressures, 91.6 with the coverage, but they are returning 6 players on that starting defense. And number 1, which hurts my soul to say, Ohio State, 93.4 overall defense, 91.7 rush defense, 90.4 in tackling, 86.6 in pressures, 91.8 in coverage, and they are returning 8 players on that defense, and they also added Caleb Downs. So that definitely propelled them to be the number 1 defense, which I can honestly say, even though I don't like them, I can see why they're up there. So I'll give them that. Y'all just making it easier for me when I whoop on these teams, everybody who gonna use them, because I'm definitely gonna talk trash. You got the better team as far as ratings, but I'm gonna cook you as far as scheme. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think some people got what we say hosed in this old ranking? Because I definitely do. There's not a lot of consistency in this list at all. Clemson only bringing back 3, but being a top 5 defense over literally Michigan, which was arguably one of the best defenses in the nation last year, if not the best. And then you have Clemson, who didn't do as well as us, but somehow they're top 5. I just don't understand it. There's a lot of things on this list I don't understand. But again, I could be crying over spilled milk. Some people may be happy that their teams are in the line that they're in, and some may see inconsistency. Either way, hey man, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Yeah, I know I'm finna get trolled in the comments about Ohio State fans. It's all good. It's all fun and love and war, man. But hey, at the end of the day, I can tell you who the number 1 team is on the game. It's Georgia. They got a 94 overall defense and a 94 overall offense. That's pretty much the number 1 team. So we're probably going to see an abundance of that in this game. But I'm with it. I'm with all the smoke. And hey, if you like this content and you will consistently keep hearing about this great college game that's coming out in the next couple of weeks, go ahead and subscribe, man. Sit at the cookout table with your uncle, man. I'll pass you some of this lemonade, man. I got your back. So again, lock in with me. Tap in. And if ain't no one told you that they love you today, just know, man, Jesus loves you. Peace and love.